Right, welcome back to the Toolbox Talks for Electricians again. I'm not here on my own. Who am I with?
James. And what
James from MKL, back once again.
We might be in the van, but we're not dogging. We're just not.
I thought we were.
Oh, well, we'll get the
This
dogs
was
in
the
back.
plan.
The dog's in the
I was
back.
going to put this on my OnlyFans.
Mate, you've got to make money out of the social somehow.
Exactly. Come on, man. That'll be I think you can make good money about it as well.
Does anyone want to pay for two middle-aged guys, though?
There is a niche market in everything, James. We know this. Come on.
Betty is out there.
I don't know. Yeah, there'll be someone that will give you a quid.
just a quid.
Yeah.
They'll probably pay us $5 to keep the clothes on.
Yeah, exactly. Be a quid to shut up and turn this off.
Oh,
Right, well, today we're going to talk about tool theft.
Yes.
I just want to ask you to start with, you've been done.
Yeah.
Have you?
Yeah. I got done. So my first van, red van.
Right.
I bought a red van because it was on
Royal
offer.
Mail?
No, everyone says that. Are you posting?
Yeah.
I got a red van because one of my customers worked at Toyota.
Right.
And he contacted me. He's like, if you ever need anything, blah. I went, oh, you don't do vans, do you? And he had a Toyota Hiace.
Yeah.
And they're bloody good vans back then,
Yeah,
the old
Toyota's
ones.
good, Japanese, aren't they?
Yeah, and they just keep going. So I went down to St Albans, had a look at it. It was out of my price range because I'd only began a little while, didn't have any
Didn't
money.
want to fork out that much, like, yeah.
And he turned around and he goes, look, what's your budget? I was like, what? He went, we used to sponsor Watford Football Ground. We can organise a better budget for you.
On it.
And I was like, what? He goes, there's already a loss. And I was like, oh. So I got a red Toyota Hiace, and that's why I've been stuck with vans ever since. But
Right.
I booked it in to get the locks done, the signage done, all this sort of stuff. Because vans come with rubbish alarms and rubbish.
Yeah, all of them do. Like, that's what I
Yeah.
mean. There's a certain thing on Fords where you can just cut the locks in a certain place and it pops them open.
Yeah, or
Right.
it used to be worse on the back doors and stuff.
Yeah, I think
Changed it
mine
now.
got done on the back door once. My old 2004 Eco 4 engine, I think it was.
Wow.
Best fan I had.
Oh, mate. I missed the Hiace until the turbo went. Then up till then, it was a crack
Yeah,
bag.
it's lovely until it breaks.
But it was great. And then I booked it all in, and I think 4 days later was when they were coming to do it.
Right.
2 days before that was happening, it got broken into.
You booked it in for the locks to be done.
And I started thinking, it's the guys with the locks. It wasn't.
Yeah,
But you start thinking
you,
it.
You think that's something like your
But
mind runs away with you, sort of thing.
20 vans in Milton Keynes got done in one night. Apparently it was a hit squad. They go around in a car and a van. The car comes out, breaks in, gone. 30 seconds. If they can't take anything after, they just drop it and leave it. And police
They've
have been
got
following
like
them.
what do you call it? Like an idea,
System.
syndicate
Oh
sort of
yeah,
thing,
they've got a
system.
and what it is there was this black BMW. It went round, pop, 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 all these vans, and then they meet up with the van and they load it all up and they go do a load more. And apparently they'd start at about 11 o'clock, finish about 4 in the morning. I'm not being funny. If you've got that kind of work ethic, think how much money they could.
Yeah, if you actually
earn.
did it legitimately. 'Cause
Yeah.
that's what I think. What if they got caught? This is the thing. The guys that actually break into vans, I know for a fact a few lads, like especially builders, ground workers and that, if they saw a guy breaking into their van, they're just going to lump him around the head.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
going to
yeah.
put them in hospital or even kill them.
Yeah.
So they've got to have a bit of desperateness about them.
I think there's got to be a drive. There's got to be a demand, and that's the problem.
Yeah, and that's the thing as well. You've been offered.
I've
Like
been offered
second-hand.
loads, yeah. So
Oh, have you?
I've been offered
Whereabouts?
years ago. Yeah, do you want some?
Yeah.
So my van got done, and that was years ago. Luckily, my insurance paid out, and they were really helpful. Really good insurance company. But what was really nice and humbling about that whole situation was, within days, I had people messaging me and ringing me,
Oh,
going,
what's up,
"Do
yo?"
you need to borrow a drill? Do you need
Right.
some cutters?"
Yeah.
And I was like, so I borrowed some
Yes,
bits
I
off
do,
mates.
yeah.
Yeah. I had nothing. I had to cancel work. And I think it's the knock-on effect. And then mentally,
Yeah.
the whole
It's
kind
not
of getting
just,
it.
yeah, it's not just you getting your robbed or your all your kit.
Yeah.
And your van getting bloody damaged, like probably $2,000 worth of damage on the van.
Yeah.
And then you got to faff around to get the kit to replace it all.
Yeah.
It's bigger than what I think the idiots that are nicking it knows.
But I think, as men, we don't often talk about it, but it's the emotional afterwards.
Oh, yeah.
Every noise you hear. What was that?
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
someone farted outside. You're straight
Yeah,
out. Like,
this is the thing,
and it's
yeah.
everything. And then so the sleepless nights, where am I parking it? All the paranoia that comes with
Mm-hmm.
it. And that can have a massive effect. I thought I was
Yeah.
lucky because mine was only, about £1,100 worth.
Right.
So they just took all my hand tools
Only.
and my radio.
Right.
But it was hand tools you've
They wanted a
acquired.
radio?
They took the radio, yeah, because it had a battery in it as well. They just took it. But it's all the stuff you acquire. Like, I had tools in my bag that I didn't even know what they originally were made for.
Yeah.
It's because
They just
I
become
use it
handy.
for this.
Everyone says that. Then everyone's got little bits where they've maybe got a spanner or something that you've manufactured yourself. I thought, that's good for that job, keeping that.
Yeah,
Or your
yeah.
dad's handed you down.
Something like you've broke and then you've adapted it and now it's a
Yeah,
hook.
yeah. Now
And you're
it's
like, that
easier.
hook is the best hook.
There's little things like that that
I had an Allen key
you
that was
miss.
rounded off and it was terrible because it was old.
Just wrecked.
But what I did is I managed to hit it with a hammer and bend it, and then that was what I used to put on the end of a super rod for a hook because I lost my hook.
Yeah,
But
you can get another hook.
you could, but because it was long
And
I could put
Allen
it on
keys are
any
hard.
rod,
It was quite tough, I suppose. Yeah.
it didn't come off.
Yeah.
So it's little things like that you adapt.
Yeah,
to.
that matter.
Cutters that they're not ergonomically designed for your hand, but because they're 20 years old, they
they're
have
handy.
designed for your hand now.
They do the trick in effect.
Yeah, it's just bad. What about you? Have you been done, and how bad was it?
I got done. They were all on camera. I'll probably put a little video up. There was 3 lads. They nicked some steps, ladders off the roof. They hung around. They were there for 15 minutes. They were quite gentle as well, taking them off. Okay. But 3 lads on a set of ladders that I think I paid 20 quid for. What the flip? Like, what's the point? I don't get it. Didn't damage the van though, I'll give them that. It's my fault for leaving it on in effect. I shouldn't be robbing it to start with. But then also, the older van where I didn't have the locks on, they must have got into that somehow. I don't even know. I felt like a fraud phoning up my insurance because there was no damage. Nothing. I couldn't see anything broke.
Like
and 100% I didn't leave it open. Like, I don't think so.
For legal reasons.
Yeah, all they
locked.
got was, they didn't even take my new flute kit. They did take the new flute kit and they took the SDS drill, and they left everything else. Oh, and they rummaged from my bag and took certain tools.
Wow.
And I was like,
So they took their time.
yeah, but I didn't get them
that.
on camera that time.
Don't want
That's the weird thing. And it boils you up as well, doesn't it? Thinking, cheeky little gits. Because I've also had something around my way at the minute where people have been trying doors on the cars. And someone down the road sent me a message saying, watch out, Ben, a lot of people are trying doors on your cars, watch out for your van.
Yeah.
I thought, they ain't tried mine. I've got security. Looked on my camera, they tried the lad's door, the young girl's door, my missus' car, didn't try my van, but tried my front door. I'm like, you little gits. So what would they done if they got in the front door?
Do you know what they do? So my mate nearly got done with that, and he saw the door latch go in like that about 7 a.m, just doing that, and his dog barked, and he went, what? And he went and opened the door, and there's a guy there with a massive rucksack on his back, and he just went, what are you doing? He goes, I'm looking for Steve. And he goes, no, Steve here. And he goes, oh, sorry, wrong house. And he closed the door, and because it was early, he wasn't fully...
Yeah, everybody awake.
Like, hang on a minute, who was that? So then he opened, the guy was gone. So what they do is they try the doors. If they get one that's open, they just go in and either take your house keys or your car keys and walk off. If it looks empty, they'll just fill the bag. And then what they do is they come back, because you'll go, oh, I've misplaced my car keys or my house, and you look for the other set. You don't think much of it, do you?
No.
Then they come back the following night, they take your car and load it up with all your stuff and then just drive off. So they come in, take everything, load it all up and just drive off.
I always think, still, how desperate you got to be to do that. Because...
What's
my dog
gone
won't
wrong?
have a go at you. Yeah, my dog wouldn't kill you, but some people have lovely... My mum's got a nice dog that will rip you to shreds.
Yeah.
If he doesn't want you in there, you're gone.
Them
This
chihuahuas
is the
are
thing.
dangerous.
Well, no, she's got a Swedish bleeding Alsatian.
Oh,
Beautiful. And if you know it,
Annihilate you.
it's lovely. But I guarantee you, that'll
Yeah.
kill you
Oh,
if you weren't meant to be there.
Well, so my old Mastiff I had years ago, she would let you in, but she wouldn't let you out. And,
She wanted you to stay
and
there.
someone had to sneak in because my missus locked herself out, and they had to climb in through the kitchen window, didn't disturb anything, and the dog looked at them and went, Shaggy? Right? Completely confused, and then saw them go to the front door, open the door, saw my missus come in, and then triggered, hang on a minute, you didn't come in through the front door. Went for them, pinned them up against the wall, wouldn't let them move.
Good girl.
Yeah. So a bit slow to it. Like I was almost, oh, what are you doing? You just woke me.
Yeah,
Hang
chill
on a
out.
minute.
Like that, yeah.
Yeah, went for him.
This is what I think is a good idea. Like my cousin's got a dog as well. I've been around there when she was probably about 2 years old. I sat on the sofa and he sat there. I said, Liam, do you mind asking her to get down? She freaking intimidates me a bit. She's a big Alsatian.
Just doing this.
Lovely dog. But I reckon if you got on the wrong side of her, yeah, she'd look after you. But that's why they got that sort of dog for, not security, I suppose. It's a pet as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, she can
feel
she
safe,
will
isn't it?
ruin someone if she needs to, I think. And that's built with Alsatians, so obviously why the police use them, I assume.
Yeah. I think the scariest Alsatian I ever met was in a copper's house. I was doing a job 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And he's got a retired police dog, and it was
Dogs
guns,
want to learn something.
drugs and weapons trained.
Right.
And he was telling me this dog's worth 50 grand. because of the training.
Yeah.
But it had to retire. And I said, why did it have to retire? You know, like old age. He went, no, he's quite young for retirement.
Hooked on drugs.
yeah, hooked on drugs.
Start shooting people.
It's all the women he's coming home with. No, he said they train them to use like up to 25% of their bite.
Right.
So when they bite you, they just clamp on and hold you and then take you down. But Alsatians kind of, this is what I've been told, they kind of do that and then work the way up to a good point.
I'm not going to test it.
And then hold.
Yeah.
Right? He started using up to 50% of his bite. And then he went up to about 70 odd %. And what that means is instead of coming up and just grabbing someone, he actually took a guy's finger off. And then he caught a burglar running along and he grabbed him on the back of the leg and ripped out his hamstring. So they were like, we might have to retire this because the court cases are going to...
Yeah, but I bet the policeman's thinking, idiot, won't do that again.
As
well, yeah, he's probably legally not had to do that, but
yeah,
good on the dog. Like, you pat it on the head a little bit, wouldn't you?
The dog's sitting there after he's telling me all this, yeah, so now my bum's going...
Yeah.
Right? He's at the top of the stairs and he's just going, all right.
Yeah. 75%
He's just sitting there like eyeballing me going, yeah.
Would I do it?
Mate, I was just like, as long as he's upstairs and he's staying there, I'm all right.
Right, back to the vans as well
Yes.
then. So do you think that having things like, I know what you're going to say, no tools left in the van overnight, help?
No, I got told by my insurance
stickers
company,
wise.
right?
So what would
Don't
help?
do it. I think
because I know there's something in there then.
Because my insurance company said that does not help. You putting no tools, because most vehicles put that on because they don't want to be robbed. All that does
100%, yeah.
in their statistics, if you've got no tools kept in, or the only tool in this is the driver, what that does in their statistics, more vans with that sticker have been done than the vans without.
Because you're trying to hide something in effect.
You're trying to say, look, I'm really not got it on. And they go, well, have they? It's almost like a challenge to them, apparently.
Yeah, it's sort of a note to say, I have got tools in here, but this sticker says I haven't, in effect. So the locks in that, though, every van you've got, you've always put the locks on.
I've put the locks on. When they came out with anti-peel, you know, the little hook for the side door, I've added that as well.
I've upgraded as much as I can for the locks-wise in the back and that,
I know now they've got the internal anti-drill and stuff like that.
Yeah, on the inside of the panel as well,
for the newer Transits especially.
Yeah, this bloody one, like, I have got it on like that as well.
So yeah, I've always gone for an aftermarket alarm as well. So I haven't just relied on the original alarm, because if they get into your key and decode it, which Fords are apparently easy,
renowned to do,
they can just unlock it and undo the alarm. So I've always gone for an aftermarket alarm. So if they get past the key, the alarm's still going to go off, because my key will not undo the alarm.
You spend a bit of money on securing your van and all then?
I think on average, every time I got a van, it's about £400 or £500 for locks, and then any anti-peels on top. So depending on how many doors you got, I think it's about £150 a door. Yeah. And then your anti-peels, and then any plates you go for, and then alarm's going to be another £400 or £500 depending on the alarm and how many sensors. Because do you want like an anti-towing away sensor? So if it gets lifted,
thing, people can just drag your van away.
Do you
or
want
something?
a sensor in the back if they get in the back and get past it? There's loads of things. You're going to spend £1,000 on your van just to secure it minimum.
Yeah, my van's never actually robbed, but because I used to like do mechanics when I first left school, I like faffing around. So I like the idea of a little secret switch. Immobilises it.
Loads of guys used to do that in their classic cars in the 80s and 90s.
Like, they work well, definitely.
But ghost alarm.
Because sometimes the door didn't lock, so I had to have a little switch somewhere to start it even.
Have you ever
them ghost alarms I've heard are wicked. So you've got to put a certain code in.
But you can use all the buttons on your dash, so it's like a cheat code on your PlayStation, up, down, left, right, X and square. But you can use your volume buttons on your steering wheel and all sorts of stuff.
As well as because I've seen them with the immobiliser with a couple of number pads, like a keypad. Yeah, but you've got to do 1, 2, 3, 4 or something.
Now with all the vehicles, because it all goes back to like an ECU bit, you can use the buttons on your steering wheel, so you can get in and do up, down, left, right, volume and that, and then that's it done. And they can do it in valet mode. So as my friend's got one, he was saying that he can put it in valet mode, take it to the garage, and it'll allow it to go up to 30 miles an hour. If they go over 30 miles an hour, it's activated. So as soon as they stop, it stops. So it waits till you get to a set of lights.
Little things that worry about me with that though. Yeah. What if it goes wrong?
Then you're sitting there.
You're stuck in at 30 miles per hour and like hang about.
Triangle, and it's not happening.
It's all these technologies, fantastic, it's great. Yeah. But if it goes wrong, you're a bit screwed.
I think you're heavily screwed.
Oh yeah. Fucking takes you right down to 30 miles per hour.
I'm an hour away from home, but I can only do 30.
Yeah, because you did these videos I saw as well, where you tested out a few things, like the steering lock and stuff.
Mate, yeah. do you know what? I had a lot of views on that. And
Because that's interesting to me as well. Thinking,
Yeah.
right, the old school method, a steering lock.
Yeah.
That's got to work. It didn't.
Well, it was the thing you loop through your steering wheel and put it in your buckle.
Seatbelt, that's it, yeah.
Seatbelt one. Yeah, and you put it in your seatbelt buckle. And the thing is, I bought 2 off TikTok.
Right.
£10 each. I thought, all right, I'll give them a go.
Yeah.
And then
honest review.
I had some brand new Nipex cutters, like, you know, the plier, the long nose. And I just thought, I'll give it a go. And I had to
wreck them?
Well, I did bend it a little bit.
Right.
It's not what they're designed for. And I spoke to Nipex and they said, please don't show that in the video.
So you didn't show the cutters?
I didn't show those ones, but I went, boom.
But they were proper decent cutters, but
high
if someone's
quality
going to rob
cutters.
your bleeding van, they're not going to bother about £50 a pair of cutters, are they?
They're not. And the thing is I used them on the first one, and then the buckle I wanted to try out, and I just went, it says it's hammer-proof, drill-proof. I just hammered it, and it's smashed. So I thought, all right, I've got another one. Maybe that's a rogue one, and it's wrong. I plugged that in. I got my old croppers, that aren't great, because I've cut through a few cables with them.
They got blow holes in the bleeding things.
And it took me, I think, 2 cuts. So it cut through, and it was like a strand. I'd done another one, it was gone. And then I took the buckle back out, put it in the back, and I just hit it with a hammer a couple of times,
And
it
gone.
unlocked it.
And this is the thing, people that are stealing your motors, they're not exactly, I'm going to be careful and quiet. They're like in, out, so they'll smash the shit out of it. Like
They will. And where it says like anti-saw, you always see them using a wood saw.
yeah, what about a grinder?
Yeah, anti-drill, and they're going,
Yeah.
mate, I tell you,
It won't cut through this
buy one.
Chinese rope because I'm using a Chinese saw. Yeah, come on, man. Well,
Yeah.
a decent saw, because you see these lads nicking push bikes or motorbikes as well, down around London.
And they've got the
straight
little-
up, boom, with a decent grinder,
But they've
battery
got the
powered
little,
one.
the little handhelds, didn't they? The
Yeah.
little mini ones.
Oh, yeah, the little crimper ones.
Yeah, and they're just like, zit.
Yeah, I know.
Mate.
So they've got the right tools for the job, in effect. So I don't know, I'm going to say give them their dues for that.
No.
But it just looks shit. I suppose they're spending a couple of £100 on a decent cutter so they can get
No,
500 quid for.
They've probably robbed that
This is true.
from a van.
The bloke that uses it properly,
Oh,
yeah.
that's really good. I'll use that.
Oh, yeah, I
Think
suppose
about
they
it.
have.
They're
You're a
robbing
thief,
the
you're a
gear
thief,
so
ain't
then
you?
they can carry on.
You're
They
not
wouldn't-
exactly got an account,
No.
RTS or something.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, mate. My last one broke because the police were chasing me. It's not going to happen, is it?
Do you think that they see it as a profession? Like the tool thieves, they're like,
Yeah.
I'm good at this.
I think they do, yeah. Well, without going into too much details, I do have a friend who lived a very different life. We've all got friends
Is he a
like
tool
that.
thief?
No, he wasn't till he was doing houses and cars.
Right.
And he got caught and he got put away for quite a few years because he was part of a
Deserved it,
big
like,
thing.
yep.
And he lived that life. But he used to pride himself on how quick he could be in and out in a house. And he'd open the windows and wait for the police. He could hear the sirens, and when he'd hear them, that's when he'd go. But
Is he had a system as well?
yeah, they've all got to sit. So some of them are quick, some of them do different things. And I was chatting to him and a few other guys. I was like, what? And it is their job. It's their profession. And they have pride in getting in and out.
Was he minted?
No, it was all for drugs.
So exactly, that's the thing then. So basically, that's what I think. If you're a burglar and you're going into someone's house, you're nicking a TV, you're going to sell it down the pub for 20 quid.
Yeah.
You could get maybe, I don't know, you get 3 months or 5 months, probably a slap on the wrist these days. But you could work in McDonald's for a month and earn more than that telly. You could buy that telly twice, surely.
But they're like, well, like a lot of small businesses, we live hand to mouth, don't we? Mm-hmm. We need this money this month to pay these bills.
Yes.
Right? And if I got a little bit extra, maybe I can buy that thing I wanted or towards holiday and everything else.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they live a bit like that as well. Oh, if I do 5 jobs, I could do this. I can earn some good money.
What?
And it's hand to mouth.
Get
Or
smacked
if
up
I
for
get
like
that
a
money,
week.
that's my drugs for this. And it is hand to mouth. They're not going,
all
if I get that,
connected in a
that's
way,
my
yeah.
holiday to Marbella. They're just, it's brutal, isn't it? It's a whole different mindset. And to understand that mindset, I was talking to a police officer when we did the protest last year. And they were saying her dad was a tradie. She was a captain. And I was chatting to her and her dad was a tradie and that's why she was there. She was supporting it. And I just thought that is amazing. And she goes, but I get it. Because she goes, I've seen the other side. I've interviewed these people.
What, the thieves?
Yeah. And you see the other side of their life. And it's not all bells and whistles.
No, I suppose. Not that I feel sorry for them, but
No.
if you're down in the dumps, you got to come out of it somewhere. And
You've got to find
you're,
a way,
You're
yeah.
risking it, aren't you? Like you're risking basically spending a lot of time in prison or getting smashed over the head with a bit of wood.
And then where's the process going? Because if they go away and they come out, what happens then? Well, what do they know? They're just going to go back to it, aren't they? Hello, mate. Have you got any work? No.
Yeah, because it's quick and easy.
This is it. It's
This
what
is
you
the
know.
thing as well. I have heard of some people as well where lads go up to with a load of machetes or whatever and say, we're taking your tools. Yeah. Like you're risking basically spending a lot of time in prison or getting smashed over the head with a bit of wood.
And then where's the process going? Because if they go away and they come out, what happens then? Well, what do they know? They're just going to go back to it, aren't they? Hello, mate. Have you got any work? No.
Yeah, because it's quick and easy.
This is it. It's
This
what
is
you
the
know.
thing as well. I have heard of some people as well where lads go up to with a load of machetes or whatever and say, "We're taking your tools."
Yeah.
Just bare front. We're taking your tools.
Wasn't there a guy in Essex?
I heard that story. Yeah,
They beat him up.
They actually beat him up.
He came out. It was about 8, 10 in the evening, something like that. Came out and they went, "We're taking your tools. Get back in your house." So he went, "No," and he ran at them. And they beat him up, and he had life-altering injuries.
This is
and
the
you're
thing. You got to make that decision, ain't you? You're like the male testosterone in you thinks, "No, I'm protecting my stuff."
Yeah.
But then, what are you going to be in a wheelchair or dead? Let them have it.
This is it.
This is a tough
and
tough decision, isn't it?
They're relying on you not having a fight with them.
Yeah,
But
100%.
now there's some of them with egos. They want to have a fight with you.
I think I'd be like that. Like, you cheeky little git. Like, you'd see red.
I think it depends on the situation, isn't it? If you're level-headed and you're relaxed and they haven't just woke you up, you might deal with it in one way.
Well, it's his dream.
But, if they've just woke you up and you're proper like, what? And you're in fight, flight or freeze mode, you might do something different.
This is the thing. It can happen.
Yeah.
And they're risking that, but then it's putting the risk onto us with someone that would never ever do that. Like, I wouldn't hit someone around the head with a hammer or a bit of wood because no chance. I don't feel like hurting someone in effect. But then for protecting my stuff though, like you're taking 5-10 grand's worth of stuff and damaging my van. I don't know, would you?
But then you risk then
being put in prison yourself for
you've got this guy, you've caught him, you've ragdolled him, you've been able to get over him. He might have a mate. While you're dealing with him, you could get the hell kicked out of you.
straight down the edge. Yeah.
Let's say he runs off and you're dealing with him and you pummel him, and then the police
And what if
arrive.
they come back another day and all?
Well, they could come back another day, but the police arrive. What are they going to do you for? Did you restrain him or did you hurt him? If you've hurt him and given him some life, now you've got a criminal record, and you're like, "Oh, protecting my stuff."
It's tough, isn't it? Like the situation that we've been put in. Like this is the thing. You could have the quietest, nicest guy, like yourself, sort of thing. You wouldn't not say boo to a goose, but you wouldn't beat someone up like maliciously. But you can turn someone easily because of the amount of thing. When it does happen, I know a guy that had his car stolen from out the front of his house. He had a Range Rover. And it was on my camera, so I'll give him the videos and everything. He's a farmer, and he had guns in the house. He said, if I did see him, I would have shot him.
Yeah. I
said, really? Like, what have you got done? Don't care. I would have shot him. So
that's
flipping.
it, isn't it?
Lucky you didn't see him, really, then. He got your car, he got an insurance, got a new one and stuff, but it was just the pure front. He's an old boy, didn't like being robbed. Don't blame him.
It's scary, isn't it? Because right now, we're sitting in this van, right, and we feel quite safe. Now, in the back of my mind, I know my van's there, right? And I'm like, I want to kind of keep doing that. Is it all right? But it's only there. And psychologically, we're in this, like, safe cabin. We're okay and everything else. But as soon as you step out, whether it's just going to the shop or going home, you're vulnerable again. And you know the van's vulnerable because, one, you're not in it, and two, you don't know what's
Especially when it's out of sight, when you're working somewhere. I always like to have a little check. What's happening out there? Like,
there's a white van pulling up.
Yeah.
And, like, it's just a delivery driver.
You don't know, like, what's he doing? Like,
That paranoia can be brutal.
I think everyone's like that these days. If you've got a half-decent van and you maybe got something in there whilst you're at work, you look out the window and what the fuck's going on? But why's my alarm going off? Because it goes off sometimes, stupidly, my van, because it's got a dog in there.
A thing might fall off. Or,
it senses it, and he's licking his bum or something. He moves around. The alarm goes off, and I'm, bloody hell, what is all that? Oh, I didn't turn the alarm off in the front.
Give him a biscuit, he might let you do it.
Yeah, no. I've tried that. Good idea. But have you ever had anything nicked while you're in someone's house?
Oh. Do you know what? No, but we had a close call when I first moved to Milton Keynes, and I was a Sky guy. Me and another guy, because I was learning Milton Keynes basically and where I'm at, and I'm working with my mate Dave. I was in this house and they had a chippy there, and all this stuff is set up in the garage, and he's doing the doors and all this, and all of a sudden, I get in my gear, and we had tool belts on with hammers and stuff. But to run faster to see what's on, we dropped them. We didn't think. We just ran outside, and there was two people of a certain persuasion. Right? I'm not going to say, but they were there. One in a car and one guy handballing his circular saw and everything in the boot. And he ran after this guy and he was like running around the car. Like it was like a comedy thing. They're running around the car.
Yeah, chippies do. They obviously set their skill saw up and all that.
Yeah, he had everything there. So instead he ran in front of the car to stop it. The guy drove at him. He jumped onto the bonnet. It was like a movie, right? And this guy's swerving and everything. This guy's legs are doing this. And then he stopped. He flew off. He broke his ankle, right, and rolled on the floor. The guy nearly ran him over. While the other fella's running up the road, he just pulls in, jumps in, drives off. And like we stood there and we felt so helpless because we had nothing to kind of like
help him.
And we're trying to catch this guy, but he was so quick and he was gone.
All the time, yeah.
And
he was professional.
Yeah, and it was just like, and my mate turned to me and went, "Welcome to Milton Keynes." And I was like, "What? I just moved up from North London."
It's like everywhere, I think, these days as well. They say, like, "Oh, this happens." Yeah. It don't happen around my way. It does. There's certain areas, I think, and it'll get you eventually.
It's just everywhere.
Like, let's say, right, I had a shed load of Milwaukee kit. Yeah, it's used, but I don't want it anymore. Like, would you buy it if you didn't know me?
No, I don't think I would.
No.
The only stuff I've ever got tool-wise off other people is when a mate's gone. One of my mates had a circular saw, and he went, "It's broken. I'm not going to use it. Do you know anyone that just wants it for parts?" I went, "Who wants it for parts?" And he went, "Well, you can have it." And I took it to Makita, and they fixed it for free. So I got a circular saw for free off a mate and got it fixed for free. Makita are awesome.
So little things like that. But
Things
that's
like
what I mean.
or mates that have got a
for
drill.
For the 20 years I've been working at the Spark, I don't think I've ever had any second-hand tools.
No.
Even, like, nothing. Even on site, when you say that's a bit of a dodgy drill sort of thing, they'll use it till its dying day.
Oh, you will?
If it don't work anymore, it's still a good hammer.
If it's not smoking.
If it's smoking, stick it in some water or put some WD on
it out.
Just until it dies, because you maybe had it for 5 years, and if it blows up, I've had my money's worth.
And you want every penny out.
Yeah, exactly. You've got your last dying day.
Yeah.
You don't buy second-hand tools. And I don't know, I've never been to a car boot and thought, I'm going to get that drill.
Yeah.
That's a nice drill.
I want to know who's buying them. Who is buying? Is it
There's
homeowners?
a lot. I'd assume, like, there's a lot of
like handymen and homeowners. And I'm not saying handymen
want
are bad.
a bargain sort of in that you can see at a car boot.
Yeah.
Where people go, "Oh yeah, I'd like a drill. I've got £20 to go and get one from Parkside, but hang about, that's a Milwaukee one for 20 quid. I'll have that."
Like,
they're gonna do
I
it.
spoke to a tradie a while ago, and he goes, "I'd go buy them." And I just looked at him, and you haven't judged someone until something comes out of their mouth.
You're
and he
like,
just looked at me and went,
cheek.
"Yeah, I'd buy them."
I'd assume it is very easy, like young kids as well, very easy to sell them.
Yeah.
But it's the pure fun. If you get caught with it, you're handling stolen goods, surely.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah.
Is it worth it? And what if it's broke? You ain't going to take it back, are you?
But because the biggest problem the police were saying, and I was talking to Frankie at Stolen Tools about this.
Yeah.
He was saying the biggest problem is that people don't mark their tools efficiently enough in little hidden places and stuff like this. And with like things like Select DNA and all that type of stuff. I've done all my
that's a
drills.
good bit of kit, isn't it?
Well, yeah, because it comes up on a ultraviolet light, and then they can zoom in, and then they can see the code.
And the thing is with that as well, if it does get nicked and you do get it recovered, they can identify to say it's yours.
Yes.
This is what I like the idea of as well, because some people are saying, well, it's mine. It's on the bleeding photo, mate. It's my drill. Yeah. Prove it.
And that's,
you don't mind, the police won't give you it.
They took £8,000 worth of tools off a guy, right, and caught him, arrested him, questioned him, took all the tools away. They were trying to locate the owners of the tools, right? But because he'd scrubbed everything off, and the ones that were, it could have been anybody called Steve.
Yeah.
And they couldn't, with like enough evidence, prove whose they were and find the owners. Do you know what they had to do? They had to give him the tools back.
No way. What, the thief?
Yeah.
Oh my God. So, what a stupid system.
They had a certain...
Can't believe it.
I don't know if it's a month or 90 days or whatever. And that's the police, right? At a certain period of time that they've got to find the owner. If they can't, they have to give it back to him because they can't prove that he didn't pay someone.
It should be, you know, like Stolen Tools UK.
Yeah.
They should be a body, like a governing body in effect, where they say, right, we've nicked all these tools, there they are. Because obviously people reach out to Stolen Tools UK, or they post a video and tag them in it and stuff like that. If they've been stolen, then they give them the tools that have been, to help them out, even to get them going, because there's so many things where you can hire a load of tools, isn't there, till you get back on your feet.
Well, wouldn't it be, if they could work with the police and go, oh, and the police have confiscated like 80 grand's worth of tools, right, and it's a whole thing, they could list it, right, chronological or whatever, oh, here's an SDS, here's this, here's that, so someone does get their tool. Tell you what, guys, we haven't got yours, but do you know what, the tools that you need, come along,
That's an idea.
For a donation,
Yeah.
you could do a donation. Just saying it, we've thought of it, right?
Yeah, definitely. Put a name to that.
You could go along to the police and stolen tools at UK and everything, and go, here's £100. Can I use those tools then? And then
Or
you
can
can
I
give
have
them
them?
back.
Yeah, can I have them?
Yeah, you can either have them
they've been stolen
or
anyway.
borrow them.
They've been in a lockup for so long or something like that.
But then maybe they're your replacement tools, or you just rent them for a month. Do you know what I mean? Whatever it is, but it gets you back on until
Gets you
yours are
back
paid
going,
out.
sort of thing. Say, look, I'm screwed.
Yeah.
I need to get going. Yeah, keep working. I've got a bloody big job on.
It would be less time off the tools,
Yep.
less stress, and you're able to restock and carry on working to earn money.
This is the thing. Yeah, less like disruption. Maybe if it was like, I don't know, like a group where you subscribe to £5 a month.
Yeah.
And that helps out something like that. I don't know, we've got 1,000 ideas here, haven't we? But
We just
would
need the
they work?
monies.
Well, yeah. But if the police came to you and said, look, be in control of this, there's 2 containers worth of kit there, label stock it, then I'd start a group.
Yeah.
Like I say, right, this is a group, £5 a month, all goes in a pot
Yeah.
for when we can reimburse people that are being robbed all the time. But then again, as well, I always think, if you've got like £1,000 worth of tools and you say, look, I just want to help someone else been robbed, there'll be 10 people go, yeah, I've been robbed.
Yeah.
Have you? What do you do for a living? I work as a binman. When do you use a drill? When I put a nail in her. Like, no, you don't. Like, you need to authenticate it in a way.
They would have to have proof.
That's a tough
What's
thing.
been stolen? Show
Yeah,
us.
but then you feel like if you said, I've been robbed, and I'm like, prove it. You're like, well, it's a bit intrusive.
It is a little bit, but
So
I
it's
suppose
tough to find an honest person in that respect.
there's got to be a level of understanding and trust, isn't
Yes.
there, and other things. But yeah, it's a difficult one, man.
Right, so have you ever used or have you ever got any of them AirTags or anything like that, like GPS trackers on your tools?
There was not a GPS tracker, but there was a little thing like a pet tracker.
Yeah, a bit like Velocity are doing it on your bags.
Okay.
And Milwaukee are doing some sort of thing where they can stop the tools from working. People
That's
told me
clever.
that's a bit of a nightmare though.
Okay.
But
if it goes wrong,
when you've got it so far away from maybe your phone because it'll shut
Okay.
off. Because if you lend your, hey, I use that for a bit, mate, and he goes too far down the garden or something, it doesn't work.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like,
I think you've got to try all sorts. I did have
100%. I love it that they're trying.
You've got to
I
try.
want one.
You want to select. I tried a pet tracker thing, and you got like a little, like a business card size thing,
Yeah.
like a credit card, and you could put that in your
What,
bag.
you put it in your pet's wallet?
Yeah. So he doesn't lose it. Can you ID yourself? Yeah. I'm Woof. No, but it came with, you could get another thing, and it was like a card. You put it in, so you could track your pet and all this, but you could add that to it as well. So you
Right.
could track your kid or your missus
Yeah,
or whatever.
yeah.
And I put it in my tool bag, but only lasted like 3 months.
Right.
And then it's like, and you couldn't recharge it.
I tell you what I get is them Apple AirTags. There's one in this van, there's one in my wallet, one in my kit. And one on my bike as well.
Nice.
So, because when I'm at a track, like this happened this weekend, some of my parents come over to me and said, there's a van going around to try and nick bikes. They just turn up to a motocross track with, got to be 500 people, and their kids and stuff like that with their motorbikes out. They spent a fortune on.
Yeah.
People are pulling up in a van and just trying to shove them in the van.
Just take them.
Just take them. Oh, bleeding heck. And some of them are rough and ready, these motocross guys.
Yeah.
And I think you've got to have a bit of guts, because if they catch you, they've got hammers in the van now where they're fixing the bikes. So
You've got to wonder, innit? You've got to have some balls.
you've got to be proper desperate or some guts, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think I saw the guy, because he was looking around a bit shady in that. Everyone looks at each other like, and I'd like talk and stuff. Do you want to talk to me? It's like, no. So he wandered off. But he didn't have any motocross kit on like everyone else did.
They stand out, don't they?
He stood out. Yeah, and I think, I thought you could take mine, but I just got on my phone. Where is it?
Oh, yeah. I now know where he
I'm gonna
lives. I've got
follow
my
him.
friend.
Yeah, I'd 100% do that. I used to call it something else, because the Apple AirTags, if they're near you, they go, you are near an AirTag called KTM 350.
Okay.
Like, shit, someone knows it. It's a KTM 350 then, didn't they? So I've changed it now
Yeah.
to something else I'm not going to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
12-inch.
Ben's. You never know, people might break in it for that.
Yeah.
This is the thing.
I thought I doubled the number.
Yeah, it's about that, you know.
Yeah.
The Stolen Tools UK actual social media platform and stuff. And what's the guy's name that runs it?
Frankie.
Frankie, that's it. Yeah.
He's lovely. So he was down. We bumped into him at the installer
That's
down
it,
in
yeah.
London.
Yeah.
And he works a lot with Schweb as well, didn't they? Because his
That's
van
it.
got done multiple times. So then they reached out, and Frankie's van got done. I have watched the story. I just can't remember the full story, but he got done. And
Yeah.
it was just, that's why he
But
started.
they're
off.
doing loads of awareness for it as well.
Loads.
Because the Trade Legends podcast, they even went to Parliament and
Yeah.
talked about it as well. So they're all trying to help to say, look, put stricter like punishment on these idiots.
But also stop the avenue for them to be able to sell them.
100%, because the Trade Legends podcast, they actually went to a car boot, didn't they?
Yeah,
they've
gone a few times. So,
so they're doing loads
and
for
they've
it as
been
well.
wearing the glasses so they can film it as they're walking around
Yeah.
as well. And,
Good idea.
And they spot them, and then they try to lift them off the site. So they've closed. I say closed. They've closed the avenue for those lots of car boots.
Yes, because the police are working with them as well.
Yeah.
So it's getting somewhere.
Yeah.
This is what the good thing is. It's getting somewhere. It's going somewhere.
But it's
just
slow.
need it better. Things do take time.
They do.
We just do need to get better, and hopefully this podcast will help to get the awareness out as well, because we'll leave the Stolen Tools UK links in the show notes and stuff.
Yeah.
Go follow them, check them out, support them and everything as well. If they've got petitions, come out, stick your name on them, and they'll hope it'll go through.
But if you must see it all the time, if someone's van or whatever's happened and they share it, Stolen Tools then share it instantly. In this area, watch out, or if a van or a vehicle.
Definitely.
And
So
I think
look,
that creates a sense of community.
definitely,
which is needed.
Yeah, or the van that's actually done it, maybe they've got it on a Ring doorbell or something, and say, right, check out this van, it's a bleeding Ford Transit or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, look at it out in the area. So then people can be wary of...
It's brutal, isn't it? Because that's the first place you're going to go is a car boot the next day or within a week.
They've got to get rid of them quick,
and see if your stuff's there.
Especially if people have got like AirTags on them and stuff.
Yeah.
Because they're going to find them and go, woohoo, whole container full.
Yeah.
And they're going to be screwed then, because whoever's rent that container is going to get done by the police and all that. But that's a good thing for us. We should all stick a freaking AirTag on one of your kit. Just let's catch them. Let's get a couple of containers. Like this year, let's just see if we can catch a big hoard of tools and give them back to the tradesmen that have been robbed. Hopefully they've been paid out insurance, got some new stuff as well. But they've got 2 kits.
How nice would that be? Someone's just knocked on your door and gone, is this all yours?
Yeah.
And you're like,
Flipping a breath of fresh air. I've just spent a fortune.
Would you sell all that down the boot?
Well, if you've been paid out on your insurance and you've got it all, you'd hopefully, I personally, I think, right, next person that I see that's been robbed, or I'm going to get in contact with Stolen Tools UK and say, look, I claimed my insurance, I've got a shed load of kit, you can't have the new stuff, but I've got all this old stuff that's quite good. Do you want to give it to someone? Because tradesmen help tradesmen. I think if we all stick together, we'd all do it together, then it's going to stop it being so friggin' horrible.
I think that's the key, isn't it? If something like that, either the police with their storage of it, or if someone did have a payout and they've got some spares, if someone could give, like, hey, look, here's a spare drill, I don't use it, you know, give it in. And then if someone does get done, like you say, they're able to rally round and go, so-and-so's got this, so-and-so's got that.
Yeah.
And there's like a
community of people that will help each other out, in effect. But then hopefully there must be some way where Stolen Tools UK can go, right, you're 12 years old, mate, you ain't got a job. Don't frigging post on my comment saying that you've been robbed. You ain't even got a car. Because I think some people might do that.
I'll give him a drill.
Yeah, fair enough for your initiative, mate, yeah. You're a young lad, but my dad wants one. Like, yeah, I get it. Like, this is tough, yeah.
It's what he's always wanted.
Yeah, so your final thoughts then?
Yeah.
For tradesmen and their vans. What would be your... What if someone says, like, I just don't want to get robbed, what can I do?
For me, it's where you park and how you park, if you can back up.
Always
and
be
all sorts of
cautious.
Stuff. Yeah. Aware of if a vehicle's following you home, which is not to be paranoid, but if certain vehicles are still following you home all the time, like on your way home, if the vehicle's done all the turns, I'm so paranoid at that.
I
might
do
go
think
round the
that
block.
sometimes.
Yeah.
But I always think, fuck, is it the police? I've got a light out.
I think the onus, really, a massive onus, is down to the van manufacturers, because they make them so easy to get in as well.
Yeah, but
like
I don't
cars,
think they will do anything.
No.
They haven't for years.
Well, they won't, because there was a shortage, right? There was a shortage of van doors where loads of vans got peeled.
They sold
the
them all.
replacement doors. So instead of breaking into vans, the thieves started going to steal doors off brand new vans because there was a shortage of. So it's like, here's an opportunity. So then the parts companies were having to buy these van doors off of eBay, off the thieves that have stolen them a few weeks ago.
So it's a vicious circle.
And it's just like, whereas I think, like, cars are quite not hard to break into. They've got windows, but they're harder to steal these days because of the security and the extra security. They're not putting any extra security into vans. I know some of the Ford dealerships are doing packages that you can pay a bit extra.
I like this ghost thing. I like the idea of that.
But
that will stop them getting the van.
But they're not stopping getting in.
It's not getting the stuff though, is it?
There's a guy up your way, incognito, Christian Bryans, right? He done his own van security. And because he does like Wi-Fi securities and stuff and alarm systems, he done a little system that you could put in a PIR in the back and everything. So if someone does come in, if they've bypassed everything, it will all go off. But also it's wireless and it will connect to your house as well.
Right.
So if it's on the drive, that gets done, your house alarm gets done, the whole street's awake, and you're getting a notification. If there were systems like that readily available without costing a fortune, and you could go, oh, while you're buying your van, it's 30 odd grand. If you want the extra package for a minimal amount, not crazy, I think that would help.
It'd be an upgrade, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. That's the way I think forward. Like, you've got, was it Monday, that do all the cage in the back and everything?
Yeah.
And you kind of open it out, and then you've got a whole cage in the back. And then they cage up the roof and everything, so they cannot get in. That is amazing.
The thing is with me, I feel like I want them to not touch it to start with. Because even if they get in, open up, you've got a cage, they're like, now I'm just going to scratch my name in the bloody side now because he's an idiot. Like, they're bent head out the door to start with, and that's a couple of grand, because I've tried driving with a bent door up. It falls off. My old Vivaro. I pulled up once and, what was that? Door's open. It weren't open, it fell off the freaking rails. Oh, crap. But the thing is, you could push it back on. But if that happened down on the A14 or something, that's pretty bad, isn't it?
Well, the only nice thing, if you did have the cage stuff in front and it did call, you could put the van door in. And nothing's nothing's going to fall out because you've got the cage inside.
You've got to see for it, just leave it off at night, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you could do. Yeah, you can see what's in there.
If you don't care what your van looks like, didn't care, because I used to have them locks you got from Screwfix, them big round ones.
Yeah, you bolt
on. Because I thought, right, the people will see that I'm trying to secure my van now, rather than them little neat ones. Plus, because they're like 20 quid from Screwfix, and the big locks are far. Exactly, the big ones. But I bolted them through and everything, and they did the trick.
So what do you think moving forward then? What do you think they need to do? I've mentioned the security from buying
tougher punishments for people. And because I think that the offenders that do steal the tools, they come back out because they're like, I've had a month holiday. I've got 2 months, I did a month. So more stricter punishments in effect. And then maybe like a system to say, look, you've been caught once. If you're caught again, it's 10 years. 10 years, 100%. Like, that's it. You've done it twice now. Like, a system sort of thing like that.
Let's say they go in, they come out, and they're like, look, you've been done for stealing tools twice. Now you have to be an apprentice.
You got to start saying who's going to take them on, though. They'll just nick your kit and go home.
Yeah, but could you imagine they're coming in going, right, we've got a job for you today.
Yeah, bloody little gits. But yeah, it's tough to find a solution to it all, isn't it?
It is, because it's a society thing as well. It goes so much deeper. Yeah, while people are struggling at certain things, it depends on upbringing. It depends on so many factors.
Yes.
It's not just, he grew up here, he's going to be a thief. It's not to do with that. Because I know so many people who have grown up in really horrible areas and they've gone off to be lawyers and doctors. Oh yeah,
definitely. It's influence of where you are, sort of thing. Yeah,
everything. Yeah, and who you're hanging around with as a teenager and all sorts. You can't nip it in the bud then, because that's part of it. It's how to re-educate and help people further down the line. That's the challenge. Yeah, and that's what I mean. I think, like, I don't know if you see, like, the reason why I don't drink and drive is because I don't want to. Well, one of the reasons. But you think, if I hurt someone, then I've got to live my life thinking that I've hurt someone. But also, if you get caught, you lose your licence, you're screwed. You can't get to work. So the penalties, in effect, if they get caught stealing tools, they've got to make it quite strict to say, I'm not going to do it, because that's a bit of a tough thing. If I get caught doing this, I'm screwed. But mind you, if they get caught, that's what I mean. It's so hard to think what you can do. But driving offences, depending on the severity of it, you're screwed. If it was that kind of thing, like not necessarily points, but something like that could work. And go, all right, you've been done, and then that's it. Now you're not allowed to do that. And stopping the avenue from where they can sell them. Yeah, if it's all that. I think this is the thing. Yeah, that's killing off a lifeline of it. That's the challenge. But then, what are they going to move on to? You stop that. All right, we can't steal and sell them now. Let's steal this instead. I don't know. Did they take the whole van? I I don't know.
Well, the thing is, I wouldn't mind that because get a new van, wouldn't you? Mind you, it ain't worth a lot, but I mean, I get a new one. Right, well, let's end this podcast on a good note.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
I just genuinely hope that the sense of community is more.
Yeah.
That there's an
We'll
avenue to
come
be able
together a bit as tradesmen, eh?
Yeah, to kind of, if something like that was created and people could help each other with tools and everything else, but also the awareness and the visible side of the visibility of it. Right, that person, let's help them and everything else. But I think
I'll do a
marking
bit
your
of
tools-
research and put in the show notes, like the tools DNA, where to get that from and stuff.
Yeah.
And maybe a couple of links to them GPS trackers and stuff like that. Just little things. I really want someone to say, got this AirTag, lad, to put it on Facebook. It's in the container, I had my kit nicked. Meet us there. Yes!
20 tradies. From,
Yeah, that'd be well cool. Probably entrapment, but fuck it, let's do it.